Hey guys, welcome to Trish Standley TV. Today we have somewhat, I feel, a very fun show lined up for you. We're going to be talking about guns, ammunition, and the safety behind it. And we're going to have my very own trainer, Giscombe, joining us. And he's going to give us a little demonstration on cleaning a gun and also kind of breaking down the parts of a gun. For me, it was a fear, and so me knowing that and learning that has been very helpful for me. So hopefully it'll be helpful to you as well. But I cannot do this show without my girl. She really inspired me to go and get over this fear of guns. None other than Danielle Jackson. She's going to be co-hosting this show with me with today regarding guns. So you guys stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
Trish Standley TV show.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us here on Trish Standley TV. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart because it was a fear that I was able to overcome. We have my guest today who is my personal trainer. Tactical, is that the right term to say? Okay, yeah, because look, your girl, okay, I'm gonna get into the show, but the girl gonna be good after this. She's gonna be good. But we have none other than Giscombe.
That's it.
With us, and he is a tactical trainer, and we're gonna really dig into and get in his brain when it comes to gun safety, because that was what I was starting to say. I have a fear and had a fear of guns, and this girl sitting next to me, my co-host today, none other than Danielle Jackson of JT Management, she was the one who really inspired me to, I just saw how excited you got about and how you made it a part of your lifestyle in being safe with gun and being a gun owner. And so I wanted to sit down and talk about it. I wanted to talk to the expert, my trainer, he could be yours too, and my girl who does a lot in this area as far as is knowledge and safety when it comes to gun. Before we start with Al, give us just a little bit, you've been on the show before, but just give us a little bit of who you are. I said JT Management, but you got some other stuff going on. Share that with us so we can get caught up, and then we'll jump right into the topic.
Well, like you said, I'm Danielle Jackson of JT Talent Management, where we nurture and help develop talent to get to their full potential with integrity and professionalism. That's a big thing. But this gun stuff, girl. So I'm a part of an organization called Chicks Who Carry, and I was afraid like you, but I got around some other women that had some thoughts, some feelings and fears, and we were able to overcome them with this organization. So I'm really glad to be a part of that. And I'm able to share this lack of fear, but more knowledge with other women like you. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And like I said, you inspired it. I saw what you were doing with that organization. I said, I refuse to go into 2025 in fear. And so I found myself at a gun store. I don't know if we're going to say the name or not, but I found myself in a gun store. And I found Al. And he actually sold me my gun. I had zero knowledge. So just share a little bit of your background and your knowledge when it comes to tactical and gun safety and all of that. Share that background, and then I'll flow into my first question.
Sure. So I was a police officer in Prince George's County, Maryland, for about 24 years. And then during that time, like 1995, I became a firearms instructor. My journey is a little bit similar to yours. Wasn't fear of them. Thought I knew everything. Got in the police academy and went right to the bottom. I had a terrible instructor. And one of the things that gave me the passion to be an instructor was because I realized this dude didn't know what he was talking about. So he was one of these guys that he picked up the gun and he went bang, 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 handed it to me and said, now you do it. All right, bang, 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 bang. I'm all over the place. And then my numbers are terrible. I'm not qualifying. So I go into what's called remedial, and they put me in a remedial, and then I made another guy, became a mentor. And he said XYZ, told me sight alignment, sight picture, trigger press. And then I all of a sudden come around. Don't bore you with the full study, but I get the highest average from the remedial, right? The highest average in the score, in the class. Leave Friday, Called my mom. Mom was home praying and crying because I'm about to be fired and sent back home. I was born in New York.
Okay.
This is Maryland, so I'm about to be pushed home. Monday, when I come back, I just told her I'm the champion. I won the medal. When I get home, when I get back to school on Monday, they had the director calls me in, and when he calls me in, he says, "You did a good job." And I'm like, "Okay, like what do you kind of?" He said, "Well, he's not gonna be able to give you the award. You did it with extra time. These guys did it the first time." So I was 2 points ahead of the guy that actually won it. But it hurt me because I really, I was young, I was 21 years old, and I really thought I did something. But then at the same time, I looked at it in the other direction. It's like, I'm still better than him.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how long it took me, I finally got it, and I'll never have this happen to me again. So then I started getting into shooting. My first competition was bowling pins, and I was shooting, never heard of this, right? It's like it's kind of faded nowadays, but it's a real good competition. So they put up 6 bowling pins for each contestant, and you have to knock the pins down first. I had a 38, the gun that the department issued me. All these other guys were shooting 44, 45, big caliber. So you hit the bowling pin one time and it knocks off.
Okay.
So this is where my skill building. My mentor comes to me and he says, "There's a neck on the bowling pin, that little red piece." He said, "That's where you have to aim." Well, the neck is only about 2 inches wide and maybe 3 inches high. And he said, that way you'll get the pin off the first time. He never said it's going to be hard. He never said, "Oh, you got to practice more." He said, "This is what you're going to have to do." And that's what I did. So my contemporaries look at me, and I have really good marksmanship. It's because I've always aimed small, and I hit small. I don't miss small, I hit small. So those are the things that kind of drew me into it. During my police career, I always paid attention to people who were struggling. And guys would come to my squad, and I said, "How's your firearms qualification?" "Oh, well, I barely got through," or "I got a 75, or I got an 80. It's like, "Bro, you got to bring that up." And I would help them. Then the department offered me to go to a firearms instructor school. I had never thought about doing that. And once I went, I realized this is where I should be.
Okay.
So that was about 10 years in on my career. And from that point on, the next 14 years, I was a firearms instructor. So what we talked about earlier in reference to like scenario-based, shoot, don't shoot, the judgment handle, because you have to know when to shoot. It's not necessarily that you can shoot. You can't shoot everybody.
Right.
But there's certain criteria that you need to occur. And you mostly, to be fair about it, is if your life's in danger or you're about to be hurt by somebody else's actions. That's what you shoot.
Yeah. And so for someone who's a novice like myself, I don't know, what was your first gun? For me, what do I have?
You have a GX4 Taurus.
Okay.
It's my first gun. This is my first gun. It's a 6-hour 360.
P365.
What he said. And that goes to show it's my first gun, and I need to still learn. She's beautiful. She's TT to me, so I don't know.
Now, I haven't named mine yet, but you see my bright pink. So she's in the making. I haven't named her yet.
Right.
But how do you know? It's a 9mm. That's all I know. How do you know as a novice, new, and you're looking for what's best for you? How do we know I know what the answer is going to be, but how do you know what's the best gun or the best choice for you?
Well, what I suggest people do is that they go to a range where you can rent more than one gun. So a lot of ranges, you go and pay one price, and then you bring that gun back and you can get another one. Okay. So what I tell people all the time is try a 2-inch gun, try a 3-inch gun, try a 4-inch gun, try a compact, try a subcompact, and try a full-size gun. See which one you feel more comfortable with. The shorter the barrel, on average, the more recoil you'll feel.
Okay.
Right? And the longer the grip, the better control you have over the recoil. Okay. So the only real reason that we want to control and mitigate recoil is because you're going to shoot multiple times, right? So we start off with marksmanship. And when you start off with marksmanship, that's where you start to group the rounds. That starts to open, as we call it, tactics. As you move, tactics, all it is moving with a purpose. So when you start to move, the rounds do this. So if you can't group keep your rounds together standing still, we have to work on that first before we
Right.
start moving.
Okay.
Because when you move, and we're responsible for every round. So in the range, we have a berm. As long as it impacts the berm, we're fine. So you miss the target, no big deal. But in real life, if you miss the target, that may be somebody's grandmama that had nothing to do with you. You know, an innocent person. So we have to be really, really responsible and practice. Practice. The people that I've met over the time where they have a gun, but it's in a closet for emergencies, right? Like a fire extinguisher. No, and even with fire extinguishers, you need to take that fire extinguisher out, buy two, practice with one, and have one for your emergencies. Because if you don't know how to do it, and you get there that first time, and you read the directions, and you pull the pin, and you pull, and you squeeze the nozzle, and it goes, and snatch your hand back that you
don't
weren't ready
expect
for.
it, yeah.
And it's under stress. See, so that's just a fire extinguisher. And most people will say that's a benign. No, that thing is going to give you a jolt as soon as you you squeeze that handle down. So that's why you need to practice.
Yeah.
And the same thing with firearms. So imagine with a firearm for the first time you're shooting it, or you have limited times on behind a pistol, and you pull the trigger. And you get that jolt, like we work with you. I put one round in the gun because I knew that just in case you pull it again. So now we can be safe, and you can get that feeling out, and you understand that the bullets are going away from you.
Yeah.
So now we can be relaxed
Yeah.
and get more confidence. The more you do it, the better you get.
And I also like that you put the rubber bullets, and I started with the rubber bullet first.
Right.
And I feel like that helped me with the sound, because for me, like when you would shoot, I would feel myself flinch,
Yep.
and I knew that I'm going to definitely do that when it's my turn to shoot. So that it helped me. That rubber bullet helped me. Okay, I ain't got so much focus on the bullet, more so the sound.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough.
So how was it your first time?
Yeah, that was just about to say the sound for me was more scarier than even the pushback. It was the sound. And I just would go to practice all the time. I go to the range, and if it's okay to go by yourself, people always say you got to be with somebody, but I think it felt better for me to go by myself.
Really?
Because I felt like I needed to be responsible. I needed to learn. I couldn't really depend on, you to be like, okay, you're standing wrong. I needed to feel that, because when I get an intruder, I can be by myself. So the sound was tough for me, but I'm really loving my weapon, learning how what that sound is and what that feeling is. And I think you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you kind of get used to your weapon and understanding how your weapon gives you that recoil. And we can go practice together.
Yeah, we need to. I need to do a couple more sessions with him first, though.
Yeah. Take me.
Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely,
Let's go.
absolutely. Now, one of the things that I like that we train on at outdoor.
Yes.
And I think that also helped with the sound for me, even though it was still an issue.
It's
I think
better.
that if I was inside, I probably would have quit, to be honest, because that's how much afraid I was. And so, kind of share the difference between, because I've never been to an indoor.
Oh, wow.
All I know is what he's taking me to, which is outdoor.
Right.
And even then, I'm still like, is anybody's bullets gonna spray?
Right.
But toward the end, I wasn't.
Right.
But in the beginning, I was like, wait
That's a
minute.
concern.
Right.
And it's natural.
Okay.
Right. When I'm in an indoor range, I flinch too.
Okay.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's you're a natural human. Now, if you're some kind of psychotic, and you see somebody walking around and there's bullets going around them and they're not flinching, you gotta watch that one. That's the one to pay attention to. The recoil and the combustion of the round leaving the chamber is going to be noisy, and it's going to have a physical with the recoil, right? Indoors, that sound is reverberating off the walls and goes right into your body. So if you're standing there, especially if you're in the middle, because now everyone's rounds are going off. If you're closer to the ends, sometimes you don't feel it as much because this side doesn't get close to this side, so you don't have to worry about one side. But that flinch is natural. So what we do is you try to get over that. So it's kind of like abnormal, right? Because you're going past it. Your body knows, hey, there's an explosion going off just in front of our face, however long your arms are. So your body naturally does get ready to fight because it gets like, get out of here. You have to train yourself that this round is going to go off, but I'm going to be okay. Right, because the rounds are going away, and I said that to you. It's one of the things I say: as long as the rounds are going away, we don't have to worry about it. They're coming this way. It's time to Matrix. Now we got to do some Neo stuff and get out the way. So when we practice, we had discussed it also about standing still and being flat. That's the marksmanship. You have to build that skill level up, and it's boring. And I've had clients who, one of my refrains is nose over toes, because you're more in aggressive positions. Yeah, see, you remember the nose over toes because you have to be aggressive. It's a fight. If you're defending yourself with a firearm, you are now in a fight with a gun, right? So even if that other person doesn't have a gun, you're fighting with a gun. So you got to get your nose over toes. You got to be in an aggressive position, and the repetition part he didn't like. So he literally was like, "I'm done," and I said, "Look, take one more time. Come back one more time." He came out, and I didn't say nothing to him. And I said, "We going through the drills. As we're going through the drills, he was messing up." And he looked at me, and I'm not gonna say anything. You said you were done. You're good now. And he says, "Okay, now what am I doing wrong?" And I said, "Nose over toes." And he rolled his eyes, and he looked down, and you see that he's standing upright, and he was leaning too far back. And I said, "See that? This is what I'm talking about." And as we move forward, the rounds were impacting low left, and he's looking at me, and I said, "Get a grip with your left hand a little bit tighter." Tighten down the left hand. All of a sudden, the rounds come back into place.
Yeah, and that was one of the issues I had is with my hands positioning, and because he teaches all of that, he the stance, all of that you're learning, and so now I can say I can hold my gun like a cop. You hear me? Okay. But one of the things that I was doing, I veer this way. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I veer that way with the stance. So like you said, you have to practice. It's not something that you say, okay, I'm purchasing a gun, I take one lesson, and then that's it.
Right.
With him, he goes to let's break down a session with him, and then did you have something to share before?
No, I just wanted to say I really like the nose over toes because that's something when I was training, I was always, I guess I was, like you said, anticipating that recoil, and it's going to knock you back.
Right.
But if I could stand strong and nose over toes, I'm not going to forget that. I'm going to book a session.
Yeah, exactly. And the nose over toes get your upper body forward. And it's the same thing, if you've ever been in a fight or if you ever...
I've been in a fight.
And you see, I was reluctant to say that because it's like not everybody's been in a fight. Right, exactly. So it's that type of deal where, if you stand like this, you're putting your face up. So you get down a little bit hunched, get those shoulders up, you're defending yourself as well. So that's what you do with a firearm.
Okay.
And then when it becomes second nature, then you're starting to progress, right? When you're not being told that. When your stance is, so with marksmanship it counts. With self-defense it doesn't. Because we can shoot from these positions we're sitting right now.
Right.
There's people, if you climb in a set of stairs and a threat comes out, you have to engage the threat.
Right.
And you're not, feet standing here with shoulder width apart. You're not doing that. You're going to look up and you're going to react. That instinctual response is the same thing with punches. If you watch most of the videos that are out there of at live incidents, people shoot with one hand. And the reason why is the same thing as if somebody would have grabbed me and I'm going to push them off. I'm not going to push them off with two hands. More than likely, I'm going to do this. You throw punches one at a time. So you shoot with one hand. It's almost that combination of your hand-to-hand combat, and now you're marrying that with a gun. And you'll see people just reach out with that one hand all the time. What we try to do is put that second hand on the stabilizer, because now you get a higher accuracy. Your accuracy starts to become more finite, as opposed to being all over the place, right? And those are the things that we want, because we're responsible for every round. And I was going to answer the other part where the sessions start, it depends on the person. Sometimes I take the gun apart and we go from there and we show different parts. What I found is when people understand how the gun works, it's almost like a car engine. If you show somebody how the engine connects to the wheels, that connects to the throttle and the steering wheel, they'll get a better understanding of how they're driving, because now when you turn the wheel, all this is in play. So when you take the gun apart and you show the barrel that's connected to the slide, that's connected to the frame, and then the firearm spring, not firearm spring, but the guide and the spring all work together. So as it works together, this is compacted, and this one we have to pull it back. When we pull it back, the string, a full-size gun, spring is bigger, not as hard as a compact. The smaller the gun, the smaller the spring. That spring then becomes more strong and thicker. As that spring is thicker, it's going to be harder to pull back. So sometimes people who are smaller stature and ladies have an issue with that, because this is not something that you do on a regular basis. And this is one of those things like we were talking about with different culture and different experiences. Ladies, and now it's changed. I'm old.
Me too.
Right.
I'm old. So as being old, I've come from a different generation where ladies were supposed to do that and young men are supposed to do this.
Yeah.
Now everybody's doing everything, right? So I see a lot of the young ladies able to lock the slide back,
Yeah.
and young men struggling. So my partner, who's not as nice as I am, I'll say that would be nice to him. He's kind of rough because he was a drill sergeant and military guy. And we had a group out one time, and his young guys, they're 20 years old, and it was a rifle, AR-15. And he told the guy, we showed him the demonstration and everything, and this guy struggled. And he looked at him. He said, "You need a gym membership." And I'm always the guy that get in the middle of everything. And I was like, bro, he said, "That's crazy." And the guy really struggled. And I said, "Okay, well, put it downwards and pull back." He still had a problem. It's just experiences.
Yeah.
In his life, he's never manipulated his hands in this manner. So it was brand new to him, and it was the first time shooting a rifle.
Oh, wow.
So those are the things that we start to recognize. Some people, they are fixed in their ways, and it's either you do it this way or not. With my instruction, I'm working on an adult learning module.
Right.
That everybody has different levels of and different experiences. I've had guys where I say, "Oh, it's like a first down. We start all over again." They never heard of football. They don't know that. They don't know that rule. I said to one guy, it's like I had to break it down to him. I said, it's like catching a football. You got to run through, and he was looking at me like, I never played football.
Wow.
Okay, I said, you ever ride a bicycle? He's like, yeah. I said, you remember the first time you pedaled? He's like, yeah, because I had to break all the way, figure something out that we can connect.
Yeah.
You get on a bicycle and you start pedaling. The first time you do it, you realize it. And I said, then all of a sudden you look back and there's nobody holding you. But you know it as long as you keep pedaling. I said the same thing with this. You got to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm really a boring person. I'm a good shooter. And any good shooter out there will tell you. It's boring. It's boring to be good. You do the same thing over and over and over again until you can't do it wrong.
Yeah.
And then you mastered it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I have also a compulsion that if I'm not good, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to find something else to do. I played golf the same way. I played golf 3 times a week, and I practice twice a week.
Wow.
So with firearms, you called me a few times. I'm on the range.
Right.
I'm on the range nowadays 2 or 3 times a week.
Well, that's good. I
Right.
mean, I love the way that you teach in the sense that, first of all, you have the patience. And then I love the way you break everything down. I'm such a technical person, and people see me and they're like, "Oh, that's all she into is fashion and media." No, I'm a technician by trade. Right. So being understanding of how, if this is how, and we're going to break down a gun where you show us all these different parts in the second half, but that first session with you, I was worked up. I was nervous.
Yep, I remember.
And I'm like, I'm going to have to shoot a gun today. I don't even think I shot the first day. I don't even remember.
We did the one round.
She blacked it
Okay.
out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it was nowhere near. It was like getting there. I was nervous and I had all this anxiety and stuff. And he calmed me and he just broke it down. Like, for instance, you showed me the chart how I should be looking through the gun for my target.
Right.
And then after a session or two, then I was shooting more. I had a target. I got it on video. I shared it with y'all.
You got to share.
And all of the shots were chest shots. And I was so ain't nobody harder on Trish than Trish. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I was upset because I didn't make that center target.
Right.
And you told me, you said, now take a step back and look. He said, if this is a real case scenario, that person's whole chest would be wide open.
Right.
Yeah.
That made me feel so much better. Instead of me looking at the negative and focusing on the negative. So that's what you get with him. I don't know if you have another question for him. I have plenty.
No, I think the question for me about comfortability is something we talked about before. I want to be able to get up, get my gun, and defend myself. Because I know we get in the stance of, okay, I gotta, get myself together.
Focused on that.
Right.
Yeah.
But me being the mom of 2 boys at home and 2 fur babies, and I'm home by myself a lot. My husband's on the road. I want to get that comfort of just, okay, someone's in my house, and I want to get it. Tell me what you explained to all of us, how you explained to me about that 15 feet kind of situation in the home. I think everybody really would love that because I feel better about myself now.
Tell me, because I need to know.
My span of control is 15 yards.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that if I'm not going to engage any target that's beyond 15 yards. And now my estimate may be 16, 17, sure. I'm not a finite, all right, I'm stopping right here. But that span is where I feel that I can engage somebody. So let's call it an active shooter. If I hear some shots going off and I'm moving in the direction that I'm trying to get away from it, but then those sounds are coming up louder because maybe I went the wrong direction. I don't know where it is neither. As I'm trying to get out and that happens, if this person's within 15 yards, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take my chances because at that point I can't get away.
Yeah.
I'm already stuck in a position where, in my experiences, somebody with 25 yards away, I've had it happen where they duck behind something. I didn't see them. Somebody 15 yards away duck behind something. I see it out of my periphery. So I know something was moving over there. I feel the same way with an active shooter. If the active shooter happens to see me try to hide behind something and I duck behind and within 15 yards, he saw movement.
Yeah.
He's coming that direction.
Right.
So now I have to be prepared to engage this person. The other part about the 15 yards is that allows less people to cross my path that are innocent. 25, 50-yard engagement lines, that's like military and law enforcement. They have to engage. 25 yards away, and you engage somebody, and that innocent person walks between you and the bad guy,
That'd be
and you pull the trigger, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Now, this joker, he already made a mess. You're making it worse. So as a armed citizen, what you're trying to do is mitigate the mess. You're trying to stop it if possible, and then by all means, you want to get you and your family out of there.
Yeah.
What I tell people all the time is, when you hear the shots fired and you don't know where the direction is, you got to hunker down. Once you figure out it's coming from your right, go left. Get out of there, go home. Go somewhere else. If you're in engagement, don't draw your gun.
Okay.
Don't draw your gun. Why? Somebody's calling the police.
Yeah.
It may not be you, but somebody's calling the police. And as they call the police, then the police will come. You can had the best intentions in the world. You got a gun in your hand, you're getting shot.
Yeah.
You're getting shot.
Absolutely.
And it's happened to people who are really, their past history says that they were just heroes.
Yeah.
They've done things in the past. And then they had a gun in their hand, law enforcement shows up, they're shooting.
Yeah.
There's no time to say, hey, are you a good guy or a bad guy?
Right.
As soon as they see you with a gun, they shoot.
That's it. We're going to take a quick break because I want to do a quick demonstration when we come back. But I just want to get your opinion on something. That 200 yards that assassinated this young man, is that a trained marksman, or is that something that a layman or even a 21 untrained person could do?
Girl.
Just yes or no, or you don't know?
I could train both of you to do that in
Really?
less than an hour.
Less than an hour?
Yep.
When we going?
No, but really?
Absolutely. With a rifle,
I'm shocked.
it's not a hard shot.
Okay.
You
So
start
that makes
talking
a
about
lot of
hard shots,
perspective.
Okay, yep.
Because we
500, 800 yards, those are difficult shots.
Okay.
300, it got some difficulty, but 200-yard shot,
Okay.
the same range that we went to, we can just walk down to the range area, to the long range area.
Wow.
They have a 300-yard range. People hit those targets all the time.
Okay. That made a lot. I needed that. I needed
Children
to hear that.
who
I'm sure
hunt,
other people.
children who hunt take 200-yard shots on a regular basis.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That explains a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys.
We was thinking the same thing.
I know. I was like, that seems impossible, but it's always good to get a real perspective. So
Right.
we got a professional perspective, and so that will deplete that theory.
And we're going to the
conspiracy
range so we can learn how to shoot.
Yes, and
200.
we're also going to learn.
Yeah.
But guys, we'll be right back.
Trish Standley TV show.
Welcome back to Trish Standley TV. We're here. We're about to, Al is about to show us how to clean a gun, but before you show us how to clean it, can you take it apart and kind of demonstrate what you were talking about with the
Sure.
coil and all of that?
First thing, this gun's already been checked to make sure that it's safe and clear of all ammunition. So is the table and so is this area. We want to make sure all the ammunition, it's just a safety precaution just to make sure so that nothing ever happens while you clean a gun. And what you want to do for each gun is a little bit different. For this one, I've already disengaged the slide release, and what we're going to do is just remove it, just like
Okay.
that. So this is your grip area right here. Next is the recoil guide and spring, right? And this is this right here, what we were talking about earlier. This small piece is what
rough.
recoils, where you have to chamber it around, right? And then we have a slide right here, And this is the slide, and this is the barrel.
Okay.
Right. So barrels lock up right here. This is the lockup. This is the linkage. So when you check your gun, you want to inspect it to make sure that you obviously shot this one before.
I have.
Yeah, good. All right. So you want to check this linkage, make sure that all the parts there, if you see it, and even if you don't know what it looks like, there's no cracks.
Okay.
Right. And there's nothing chipped off, or it doesn't look like it's abbreviated or missing. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because at that point, if you put this back in the gun, you'll see that the gun won't function properly. Mm-hmm. Right. What I also show is where it sits in, right, without the slide on. It gives you a better understanding. When we have the ammunition in the gun, it goes inside the magazine. That magazine sits there like that.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that's what the gun looks like when it's inside without the slide on. So what's happening is the bullet sits up and goes into the chamber. This part of the barrel is the chamber, right? And the shell sits inside here. The bullet goes out this way. The shell is extracted this way and removed. And then the next round, when it's sitting here, pops up and goes into the round, sets the gun up. That's why we have to give the frame, the grip, a solid platform, because the gun is rotating, cycling back and forth on the rails, right? One of the other things that you want to do is you want to pay attention to the rails, make sure that there's no abbreviations or any markings or damage to them. They should be straight and flat, just like that, right? So then we can do that. We take the 3 major parts away, and we get them that way, and move that out. Yep, there you go. So just like that. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to use some of this solvent. Nice,
Yeah, the child lock.
You need to go to the gym.
Oh my goodness, that's a good one. I like
Your
that.
hand might be too big.
I'm telling you, this is really, really, there it goes. It's cool.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you needed help.
I think I do. I'll give it to you. There it is. Boom.
Yeah.
See? Neither with ladies.
We're moms. We're used to
Right.
the child
Snatching people
right.
up. Yeah.
So I'm going to show you one way that I do it. Just don't re-dip it in, because once it's dirty, the contamination gets
Okay.
inside. So use a fresh one and just kind of get it wet like that. And then we're going to take this and run it through the barrel, right? And do a nice little twisting motion to get it all inside.
And it smells good.
You like that smell? All right, cool.
That makes me crazy.
Yeah, no, it's called Odua Happies number 9.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go, little dash of
I was asking before, the brand of, because this is a whole set of cleaning, the brand doesn't necessarily matter.
No, there's multiple brands out there. They all do the same thing. One, say they're slicker or easier. They're all the same.
Okay.
All you want to do is get one. This is a lubricant, and this is a solvent. And the solvent breaks down the burnt gunpowder on the gun.
Okay.
Right, so it helps mostly inside the barrel.
Okay.
Then at the same time, I don't have a cleaning brush at this point, but I would do the same thing. Take the cleaning brush and just run it inside here, right? And just wipe those things down, wipe it off. It's not, again, never going to be to a point where it's like corroded unless you ignore the gun for a long period of time. So if you don't clean this for, say, years on end, and shoot it, then you'll start to see corrosion on it. Right?
So how often should one clean their gun?
I would say about 6 months.
Oh, my.
Right, if not sooner. Some people do 200 rounds. I'm finicky with it. They're made to withstand war, right, in battle. So you don't have to be overly finicky with it, but you need to clean it at least, like I said, once a year. Maybe on your birthday. Remember.
That's a good way to
That's
remember.
a good way to remember. It's a little crazy and psychotic on your birthday, though. You're cleaning your gun. But I'm just, hey, I'll keep that in mind.
At that point, you can do something. You have something to look forward to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to, okay, we'll
And
go
so
with
now
that.
you had mentioned earlier, I don't know if it was earlier, if it was in our session, you kind of broke down what this is. I know you showed how that all came together, but what is this right here?
That right there is the slide, and this piece here, it allows the gun to know when it's connected.
Okay.
This is actually part of
It's
the
like a
trigger
lock?
bar. No, it's a so when the gun See that? The
Oh,
trigger.
okay, I see. I see.
So
okay.
when it knows that there's a slide on it. So when
Okay.
you put that down, and it helps and aid in the transfer of this into what's called the sear, which is there's a striker fire gun. See this moving right here, right? As this moves down, this takes off the safety, which is right here,
Okay.
and allows the firing pin to go forward.
Okay.
Right?
Because this particular gun does not have a safety.
External safety.
External safety.
This right here on the trigger is a safety. So if I pull,
Is it?
if I pull this back without pressing that down, it won't go back. But if I depress that, see how it goes?
Yes.
So that's a safety. There's a trigger safety on it, and that's designed so if you would put this in, say, a purse, and you did like that, it won't fire.
Okay.
If it does like that, it will.
Okay.
But if it's what do you call those, like a chapstick or something like that inside the gun, as long as it doesn't push that trigger safety down, it won't fire.
Okay.
Right. So with this gun is similar to Glock was the first manufacturer to mass produce striker fire guns, right? There's striker fire guns were around before that, but Glock was one that kind of made it famous. This is a striker fire gun, and you can tell it by a striker fire because it doesn't have a hammer on it. See?
Okay.
And that back plate. This is part of the safety mechanism. This is an interrupter that blocks that piece right here, that little silver piece.
Oh, okay.
That blocks the firing pin from coming out. So if I move this and push that, see the firing pin now? That's the firing pin. So that's safety. That piece right there, that plunger, allows, and this what this does. This pushes up and allows the safety to release and allow the firing pin to fire.
Okay.
And this happens every time you pull the trigger. So every time you pull the trigger, this cycle goes through. That's why you have to have a stable platform with your grip in order for the gun to function. So if you have a weak platform, the gun is going to rotate and it's going to be out of sync. So it has to be synced in order for it to fire, cycle, eject the last round, and chamber a new round.
Okay.
Right. So we go through that, we clean it, wipe it off, right? Wipe off all the parts, just go down, and it's not anything. And you also need like a rag that you can do to just wipe it off and wipe the wet stuff off. Today we'll just use one of these, right? So you wipe it off and you just pay attention to it. See, it's pretty clean. You're getting a few specks on it because it's first time cleaning, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Right? So you get all that out, and it's not white glove clean necessary. It just needs to be, the biggest part of it is lubricating. If you don't clean your gun on a regular basis, keep it lubricated. It's like having a car and changing oil, right? If you have no oil in a car, you're gonna get it to lock up and seize. If you have dirty oil in a car, it'll run, but it'll have some issues with it. Same with the gun. If you have, the oil dissipates, especially if you carry it from the heat from your body. So that's why we have to pay attention. I check my guns for oil every time I shoot, and I'm on the range all the time. But I just check, make sure it's not dry. If it gets dry and you go to shoot, you probably have malfunctions. One of the biggest things, like some of the manufacturers, people, oh, that's a cheap gun, it jams. It jammed because people took it right out of the store, took it to the range, didn't oil it. The gun has a preservative on it to keep it from rusting, but it's not a lubricant.
Okay.
So then they go to shoot it, the gun jams, they call it a raggedy gun. It's not. Give it a chance. And I'm a snob. I'm a snob when it comes to guns.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Buy once, cry once. That's me. So it's one of those things where, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want to have issues with a firearm, go ahead and buy something that's lower level. But there's a lot of manufacturers out there that have decent guns.
So now, when you hear stories of people who say they were cleaning their gun, they had an accidental firing while cleaning their gun. How does that happen when you've totally dissected this?
You avoid one of the process. What I said when we first started, all the ammunition is away from it. This table is void of ammunition.
Okay.
So somebody has a magazine that's loaded, and they think that, all right, the gun is clear. But then they stick a loaded magazine back in the gun, and then they chamber it and fire it. And I didn't remember that. See? So take it away. And people, they look at it and they say, oh, and at this point I'm using a brush, a bore brush, in order to go through the bore. The barrel, in order to give it a nice little, now this gets into lands and the grooves. There's lands and grooves. I don't know if we can get that on camera, but there's lands and grooves inside the barrel, right? And there are little lines in it, and that helps the bullet actually turn. So as that sets the bullet into its turning pattern so that it gets that, what's it called? So now when the bullet flies, the path is true.
Okay.
Right. And see, this
Look
is
at that. Yeah.
So this is what you get when you clean guns. I didn't bring gloves today, but I usually I have a box of those like surgical gloves, and you just wear it. Another part to pay attention to is this is the muzzle crown. Take a look at this to make sure that there's nothing scratches or cracks in this as well.
Okay.
And the reason why, this is where your accuracy on your gun comes from. This helps in actually. So when the bullet leaves, if there's a crack in it, you'll see the bullets start going downward.
Okay.
You'll shoot it in here, and it'll be lower than your target.
Okay.
So wherever you aim, you'll note if it's the muzzle that all arounds are impacting a little bit low, and that means that you need to have this resurface.
Okay. So now you said resurface. So you don't have to get a new one. It's just a process.
I remember I told you I was old. In the old days, you can just get it resurfaced, but now, as you say that, you probably need a new barrel because there's not many
Things probably have changed.
a lot have changed since the revolver days. But I used to have armorers. I knew guys who were armorers, and they can like literally they'll look at this, and find a part that is compatible from another manufacturer. Take a little piece over here, take a little bit of that, and put it on your gun. And your gun will work for the rest of your life.
Okay.
But nowadays we live in a replacement society.
Yeah, they're not doing that anymore.
No, there's no. You can't even find a television repairman anymore.
Oh, that part.
Just throw it away.
Exactly.
I wanted to kind of bring up the whole safety issue about assessing the area. One of the things that we do in our gun club is we kind of make notion of it. If we're cleaning our guns, we might say guns apart. Right. Or no ammunition on the table or whatever. I'm cleaning my gun, something like that, because that is so very true. That if I think that we're all clear and we're about to go shoot, and I'll put it in there, and you're like, "Hey, I wasn't finished cleaning my gun," and I'm like, "Oh, ready, boom."
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that that's something that is really important to adapt with your gun or your weapon friends.
Absolutely.
That if we're going to shoot together, hey, let's have some key words on when you're cleaning. Another thing is when you are loading, making sure your barrel's down, away from everyone. You don't want to be like, how's this feel? Girl, so just some little things. Yeah, it is. It's scary. It's very scary.
This part right now is I'm going through, I just put the bore brush in, and now I'm going through with a clean and pulling it out.
Okay.
So any excess that was in there now, the barrel is about as best as it's going to be. The other part we take a note of is also right here, and this is your ramp, your feed ramp. So the bullet actually hits this and slides up inside. It helps aid it, right? So we want to make sure that's kind of clear and nice and smooth. And once it's smooth, that means it's ready to do the same process in reverse. Take the barrel, stick it inside the slide.
This is the part I have a problem with, because I've taken it apart and then been like, what I do? Get this all back together now.
Well, I'm going to tell you, YouTube is your friend. YouTube is your friend.
Yeah.
Almost every manufacturer has probably about 100 people who've taken apart a gun and replaced it and show you online. This is the key part of all cleaning is the lubricant. Now, see these stainless steel rails? They aid in the slide being able to go back and forth, but there's a little bit of lube always helps. So just a little, like a dot or two, like that.
Just a little lube.
Yep. And again, I'm used to doing it like this because I'm wearing my
So can you ever have too much, No. Okay. Because I'll be so nervous that it won't get too slippery.
When you say that, the key about if you're carrying a gun, on a regular basis, and you put too much lubricant on, what happens is it attracts lint. Right?
Okay.
Because the majority of people have more problems with lint on a gun than they actually will have shooting a gun.
Okay.
Having to be involved in a critical incident. So now the gun is fully back together.
And that was all the oil that was needed.
That's all the oil needed. Listen to it now.
That's
nice and smooth. And then, of course, we got to get it back in the pinky.
Gotta get pinky back. Let's we need to do a campaign on what we need to name your weapon.
Yes, we're going to do a whole campaign on what we're going to name her. I love your name, TT, but I'm not going to steal it. But I love that.
The last thing that I do also is just to make sure that the magazine, right? You see that right there?
Oh, yeah.
Take that out just like that.
That's dirty.
And then wipe it off. And all this stuff is just residue. It's not If it stays there, it'll start to stain. But
Okay.
right now, so you see it just wipe right off.
Oh my.
Right?
No,
And
I've
then
never
you
done
use a
this.
solvent. Yep. So you just take that off. Make sure that the spring is in good shape, right? Nice and springy, and then you replace it the same way. So this is the bullet would sit on it and go that way. So I'm going to orient the frame of the slide to be in the same way, and it goes back in the same direction. Then you compact that, hold it down, and you put the floor plate on the same direction that it came off, just like that.
So
I
ladies,
didn't
this
even
is when
see
you got to be careful with your nails.
And yeah, you
Yeah.
mentioned that on how with the nail thing, you might have to just pay somebody to do this part. But
Yeah,
how, you were
these.
mentioning shooting properly with nails.
Right. So what our trainer had us to do was practice, because I may have short nails this week and long nails next week. You got to shoot as if your nails are always going to be long.
Right.
So I'm, when I pick up my gun, I'm careful to take my, just kind of take inside. That's why I'm concerned about, my gun sitting here, I'm watching TV. I want to be able to run, and just get my gun. But it does take the practice of being able to take your fingers through there and get it. But it's also about the kind of gun you have and the kind of, what's this called, this part?
grip.
The grip. That's important. My grip is a little short.
Oh, okay.
So I think the bigger the grip.
The longer, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing too, also, you won't even remember that. I guarantee you. Having been in critical situations before, all those little things you don't pay attention to.
Okay.
What I mean is the threat's there, right? And as you see the threat, you're focused. Your eyes are going to be this big. It's taking all that information in. Those little minute things of nails being on and all that, you're not going to pay attention.
We're not going to care about those nails.
No.
We're trying to
Ain't.
kill somebody. I'm trying to get you up off me.
But what you will find is that if the nail impedes your ability to pull the trigger, you're going to be doing something that you expect something to happen, and
And
it's
it
not
doesn't.
happening.
Yeah.
And then that's when things go, okay, what's going on? And you come out of that focus because he's supposed to be dropping, and then you realize the gun isn't firing. So that's why, as your trainer was saying, do it with the nails, because do it with the situation that give you the most complications.
Right.
I like to keep things very simple. Prior to the Glock, I was carrying a revolver. When I moved to the Glock and the revolver are very similar. There was no safety on the revolver. There's no safety on the Glock. My department then went to a what is called a Beretta 92 FS. It had a safety on it, and that was a little bit different because sometimes officers would draw the gun out, pull the trigger, and nothing happened because the safety was on, right? So now they had to make a conscious effort, and we changed the style you draw. You draw the gun and you flip the safety up at the same time, so that way the safety it's off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And certain guns you have to carry it in a single action mode, like 1911. That gun the hammer's back and it's cocked at all times. So you just have to know that before you carry it and
Yeah.
practice with it before you actually need it.
Right.
Because one of the lessons you give also is pulling from the holster, which I haven't taken yet. It's going to be probably my
Right.
well. No, I
I know
need to
you
do a little review first.
Oh, we got you.
But also, I always keep my gun in the holster because it's an added safety
Yes.
measure for me as well,
The key-
especially when you're carrying them in your bag or your purse.
Yes.
This right here.
Yes.
The trigger has to be guarded.
Yeah.
So even if you don't get a full conventional holster and you just want a trigger guard, and that means it's just going to cover the trigger, that's the key for any carry, is that you keep the trigger, because when you reach for something, you do this.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have that, my finger's going straight
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And now, under stress, more than likely, I'm going to pull the trigger.
Right.
So
Right.
we want to practice keeping the finger off the trigger, but under stress, you will put your finger in that hole, and then when you just moving, you're going to fire the gun.
Yeah.
Right. So holster is definitely most important. People buy them and they just want to put it in their pocket. I don't advise that.
Yeah.
Same thing. You reach in your pocket, you're going to pull the trigger.
I have a friend. Her husband shot himself in the leg
See.
because he had a gun in his pocket.
Oh, my goodness.
So yeah, it's very real, and that was part of the reason why I wanted to do this type show. Not that, and as well as a lot of us are out there, especially us women of color. We are afraid of arming ourselves, but it's necessary, especially in this climate. Today we are targeted. Y'all targeted
Yeah.
too, but we
Oh,
are
yeah.
targeted as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's the safety of getting, if you're going to get one and get a trainer, learn and practice, which is what I'm learning, practice in And that's why we wanted to do this broadcast today. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. You know, love you, love you, love you. And thank you. I'm going to see you when I come back.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm gonna see you too, evidently.
Yeah, and Al, real quick, just share your contact information for someone who may have questions, or someone who wants to take the training. I don't know if you'll travel to the training. I don't know if you do classes.
We travel. We
Yeah.
have classes. The website is www.saberteamtactical.com. And we do everything. We do small groups, shotguns, rifles, pistols. I do revolvers still. There's a lot of people, you know, advanced age, and they still depend on that. They like that dependable revolver, and I still do training with revolvers. Tactical groups, we bring small people, six people or more. We get those groups together and we go through things. Home defense, we had families out. About a week ago, we had a family come down from Maryland and they wanted to train together. And we had rifle training, we got pistol training. The youngest one was 17. The dad was like in his 50s, and then mom, you know, she was somewhere in the middle there. So we got all these folks together, and we were doing the scenarios that you were talking about. And, you know, something happens, bump in the night, you know, don't go check it. Don't go looking for it. But if it comes to you, be ready. Call 911, stay hunkered down in a room, get that gun drawn on that door, and anything that comes through that door. But this is the problem, you have to have a plan. Because what about if it's cousin Ed and he just drunk tonight, right? So we gotta be a little bit cautious, but we have to have code words. So if I yell out peeper and they don't say creeper, then I know that person.
Bam, bam.
Right, exactly.
Pew, pew.
Right. So you have to have a call and response, and if that person said the wrong response.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about people kicking in doors. These youngins nowadays are coming out and they're showing up with guns. And in the old days, I was literally taught and given intel as a police officer that people who burglarize houses don't carry guns. That was something. That was the MO. Nowadays, these guys, you see all the videos, the Ring camera videos. These guys are standing there with all of them, not just one, all three people coming in your house with guns, and that's crazy. That's great. But the times are desperate. And as you said, being marked. We're not even talking about the social stuff. We're just talking about the criminal aspect. The criminal aspect is one thing, but also it's a right, especially in the state that we live in. Exercise your right. You know, most black families, when you're growing up, guns are bad. Guns are for the police and military.
Criminals. Military.
Right. Anybody that has a gun is usually a criminal if they're not a cop. Right? But now in this state, we're allowed to carry firearms. Carry a firearm. Right? And the other thing that it's kind of tongue in cheek, but be careful what you say to people. Right? Because these people are carrying firearms, and you may know the law, you may know the law, I know the law. This is not a threat. But now you piss somebody off and they want to shoot you. Or you put too much mayonnaise on the damn sandwich and they want to shoot you.
They want to shoot you. It's true. So I'm so glad you came and hung out with me. We had moved some stuff around, but we made it happen. And so I want you really, 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 truly, if you have a fear, especially of firearms, get with an expert, because the same way he broke down, like I said in the beginning, I'm very technical. So this helped me overcome some fear just by knowledge, just by knowledge alone. So I encourage you and I inspire you to go and seek some professional assistance, and then also share, again, the organization you work with. I know you guys is by membership only, but I'm sure there's other organizations out like what you all are.
Yes, there are several organizations out there for women that are fearful or have questions. But the organization that I'm a part of is called Chicks Who Carry Atlanta. We have 12 chapters, international as well as local, on the domestic side. But we welcome trainers like this to help us to be safe. It's not cute just to carry a gun. It's just to be carrying one. We do it for protection. We do it for protecting our families, protecting ourselves, and to be aware, because there is a lot of other people out there that have weapons. So we have to protect ourselves because they have what we don't. So we need to get what they got, right? I need to post it. So yeah, definitely. I mean, get you a trainer. Get you now.
I'm available.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Trish Standley TV show.
I'd like to thank my guest, Al Giscombe, for joining us and really educating us on everything, just about everything that we should know, whether we are new, a novice like myself, in purchasing a firearm, and then just really rational I feel common sense things that we don't think about. I just love that how he shared that information. He is available to you, whether you're here in the city of Atlanta or not. Make sure you reach out to him and partner with him on any questions that you might have if you're new, like myself, as a gun owner. I also would like to thank Danielle. She always gonna bring the humor. We know that. But I love that she also is very well equipped with the organizations that she's a part of that also teaches gun safety. So you guys, you know, if it's a decision, it is a personal decision. If it's a decision that you have chose, I don't care if you've had a gun and been a gun owner for many, many years. I do feel that education coupled with that would be to everyone's advantage, because as Al stated, once that bullet leaves that barrel, that's it. And so I just want to thank them for coming on and sharing this very sensitive topic for me, but I'm so glad they did. I'm excited, and I just don't even know what else to say, but thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, love isn't love unless you give it away. Let's lead with love today. All right, guys, check it out and be safe.
This is the place where the everyday one